Hello, my name is Brianna Stanford, and I will be discussing the significance of online communication. The Internet itself is a culture. It is a network that allows people to express themselves in different ways. Additionally, the Internet contributes to a unique way of communicating and interacting amongst others. Lastly, online communication exposes us to various cultures all around the globe. So essentially, it's a learning experience. With the web itself being a culture, it also has subcultures, or co-cultures, as we call it in interpersonal communication, and societies within it. A co-culture is a group of people who share values, customs, and norms related to mutual interests or characteristics. Some examples of co-cultures include the networks such as Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and so on and so forth. Within these co-cultures reside societies, which are groups of people who share symbols, languages, values, and norms, or to simply put it, they are groups of people who share cultures. Online communication has created a plethora of communities of online support groups. These provide a sense of belonging, validation, and mental, emotional, and financial supportiveness. Supportiveness is the act of giving support. This can include providing sympathy, empathy, or encouragement. Online support communities are very vital for people who experience grief, depression, or stigma. And speaking of supportiveness in the financial sense, I'm on Facebook, and there's this group that basically gives money. No, basically the members can post. They can post things asking for money from the members. For example, someone needs money for their medical procedure. And on top of that, there's also the GoFundMe platform or the You Caring platforms where people can crowdfund money to any cause that they want to. And grief is the emotional process of dealing with profound loss. We all experience grief when we experience deaths of loved ones. Depression is a physical illness involving excessive fatigue, insomnia, changes in weight, feelings of worthlessness, and or thoughts of suicide and death. Some people's depression is temporary, while others' depression is more chronic, and sometimes one's depression is a subset of a bigger disorder or a bigger mental illness that they may have. For example, borderline personality disorder or bipolar disorder. Stigma is a characteristic that discredits a person, making them to be seen as abnormal or undesirable. Typically, marginalized persons fall under this category. For instance, a mentally ill person is stigmatized. This is especially true if they have a cluster B disorder. This includes like the personality disorders or schizophrenia. Online support communities, they have very beneficial qualities, such as giving people an in-group dynamic that allows them to be heard, understood, and given a sense of belonging. In-groups are groups of people with whom we identify. These essentially are indicators that we are not alone. These online support groups can improve self-esteem as well, which is defined as one's subjective evaluation of one's value and worth as a person. Online groups can provide validating environments that boost confidence. Moving on, empathy is not exclusive to face-to-face interactions. It can also be expressed online. Empathy is defined as the ability to think and feel as others do. Empathy permits empathic listening, which is one of the types of listening where one tries to understand what the speaker is thinking or feeling. To illustrate, someone with ADHD could comfort another person with ADHD when they're going through any tough times in life, since they also have ADHD, so they understand exactly what the other person is going through. Because online communication allows for ambiguity and anonymity, it can contribute to the disinhibition effect, which encourages people to say or do things online that they would not normally do in person. This can be both a good thing and a bad thing. The advantage includes giving a voice to those who are voiceless in real life, just like the marginalized communities that I mentioned before. And this includes people with like social anxiety, or those who have higher levels of introversion. On the other hand, disadvantages involve giving rise to cyberbullying, trolling, and flaming. The ambiguity and anonymity emboldens some people, to be very nasty online, whereas they would not do that in person. All in all, online communication is very impactful in society because it allows for us to have global connections, it allows us to learn, it allows us to grow, and it ultimately provides us with support while also allowing us to give support.